course, Wilkinson Mill, obviously high mineral content, made of New England rubble stone, 3 feet thick, so the building wouldn't collapse because of the vibration of the water. Very powerful. Yeah, and rubble stone, quarried in Rhode Island in New England, it has traces of quartz and gold, which are also conductive of electricity and other energies we don't quite understand yet. So that is essentially the machine shop. That was not a textile mill per se. That was the machine shop to repair the machines from here at Slater Mill, because the business expanded rapidly and they needed a machine shop to repair and build new machines. So Samuel Slater actually married into the Wilkinson family. When he was 21 years old, when he came here, his first week here, he met young Hannah Wilkinson, who was 17 years old. It said their eyes met and it was love at first sight. Well, truth is they were married several months later, so that may be factual. But so that's how he was married into the Wilkinson family, and that has a long history of machinists. And there weren't as many workers there as there were in Slater Mill, and they did not have child labor. You either had to be an adult, an experienced machinist, or you had to be a young boy, perhaps 12, 13, 14 years old, serving a 7-year apprenticeship, learning to be a machinist. So there was no child labor there, there were no women laborers there. It was just a small amount of men at any given time who were experienced machinists. So that's basically the history of Wilkinson Mill, although we do not have a record of the industrial accidents. They were prevalent, to be sure. In the Wilkinson Mill, which is the stone structure out there, we have the water wheel. I like to engage the water wheel because it serves up a low-grade electric current. There's a lot of mineral deposit in the Blackstone River, and that kind of gets it going. Also, if there are spirits in the mill, they would be very accustomed to the droning sound of the water wheel and the vibrations it produces. In Wilkinson Mill, our CEO, Janice Kissinger, who's a practical lady, she was walking through the mill, and about halfway through Center Point, she felt really overcome with tension and anxiety, and she had to free herself. She had to run out of the mill down there. She's our CEO. Gene Valicenti of Channel 10 News, when we started the ghost tours last year, he was here to interview us, and he said, you know, I feel something right here, and that was the spot, the same spot. There was an icy cold spot. I don't usually pay too much attention to temperature changes, but there was this clammy, icy cold spot that seemed to be following us in here. Activity has happened in every section of this building. So I'm going to engage low electric charge by turning on the water wheel. I'm only going to keep it running for a few minutes though, just to stir up things.
Professional.
Initiated a low-grade electric charge, which might be helpful to our investigation. It's 1.5 about. Oh, that'll jump it up to 5. Higher if I point it toward the ceiling, but if I level it, it's low-grade. Higher charge up here, as I would expect. Especially with the lights on. Now you're going to feel sensations wherever you feel them, but this is where the CEO
of Slater Mill, Janice Kissinger felt that onrush of tension and anxiety and she had to get out of here. Several others have, right around here and to the back of the machine shop. Is someone here with us now? Someone who used to work in the machine shop. If you are, please let us know. Flash. Does anybody feel anything here, by the way? Do you feel anything out of the ordinary?
The only place I felt something really out of the ordinary was the first house we went into, that first room.
First room we went
Yep.
to the Brown house.
Yep. It was really close in there.
Is everyone ready to move over to Slater?
I think so.
Somebody's got to record.
True. So this is the Slater Mill, the main building on our site, 1793. Obviously, it's known for its history of child labor and industrial accidents, although the mills, yeah.
Did children really get injured here in Slater Mill?
Yes. Yes, they did, Carl.
Seems inevitable.
Yes, yes, they did. And adults too, although the primary workers here were always children. And up to fairly recently, as it was Slater Mill. The mills in New England in this area didn't start recording industrial accidents until about 1898, and even then it was sparse, so the records are... And it's always either a misfortune, if it's employee carelessness, or misfortune, so the mill's never at fault. But obviously there were a lot of horrendous accidents and a lot of child labor. Although Mr. Slater himself was a very kind mill owner, as mill owners go. So this is the birthplace, the start of the American Industrial Revolution.
4 years ago with Richard Danforth. He was arming the building one evening. Richard Danforth was our education coordinator. He was a teacher in the classroom for over 30 years, very practical man. Now, he was arming the building with the Sonatrol motion sensor, as we do every evening. He couldn't get it to arm. It said there was some breach in the system. So he came upstairs, checked around, there were no windows open or doors left ajar. Still couldn't get it to arm. The yellow LED screen kept reading system not ready. So he called Sonatrol. The Sonatrol agent said, well, our sensors indicate you have a group of people moving back and forth upstairs, milling around, so to speak. And so he came upstairs to check with another staff member. Nobody was up here. Of course, they'd know if it was rodents or pigeons or anything. So he called back Sonatrol. The agent told him, just leave the building unarmed tonight. Tomorrow we'll send our tech guy over. So the next morning the technician arrived, checked through the system, there was nothing wrong with it. To this day we don't know why it read that there was a group of people moving around. That didn't happen for another 3 years until last fall, last September. Andrea and our curator got the call. Again, it said people were moving around here. Now, my first experience was 3 years ago when I was cleaning up downstairs. I heard people, clearly footsteps walking around here, and I didn't think anything of it. I kept hearing them. I came upstairs and there was nobody up here. That happened again and again. On top of that uncanny, eerie feeling that I was being watched, only in certain sections down in the mill. Now, in April of 2007, I was giving a tour of fifth grade class was moving through the mill downstairs, and we were halfway through the museum. Suddenly I heard a boy scream. A little 9-year-old girl next to me said, "Did you hear that?" So I had to run into the bell tower where we enter Slater Mill, and where the scream came from, and there was nobody there.
This is so
Isn't it though? Restored. This is where that industrial revolution this country began. I hope you've had fun so far, because I'm going to plunge us into darkness. We should probably try some response over here. See if we can get some rapping, thumps, or EVP over here. I'm going to turn it dark. In fact, I'm going to ring the bell, the factory bell. They would call in the workers and send them home. Maybe that will have some effect. So this is me ringing the bell.
Just try and shine the camera towards the glass.
Hmm?
Can you just get back there and shine the camera, especially the red bits at the glass. I'll stand over there.
Down there?
I'm trying to look at what it is.
Every once in a while we walk around the grounds. Well, on the ghost tours we did.
So you've never had anything happen?
No, it's usually outside, if not exclusively outside. Back. Before we leave, who wants to come and see the portrait of Samuel Slater, as he was in life?
Let's go see him then.
Maybe even take a picture of the portrait.
Can you move the flashlight away, please? There it is.
Keith, what do you make of this? Is this like just dust that's in a weird position? It's dusty?
Yes, it looks like a close-up of
It's dusty, huh?
That's interesting, though.
It's just weird where it is.
Yes,
It's cool.
very interesting.
But it's neat to, there's a few times I've taken pictures like at fountains and stuff, and it looks like, you know, if somebody sent it to us, they would say, oh my
Right.
gosh, it's an apparition.
Oh,
But I
yes.
knew it was the reflection of the water.
Well, you get that in the wheel pit, too, when the wheel's running sometimes.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. I can see where you get that.
You can actually...
Okay, it's about time to pack up, believe it or not.
It's going by
Anything
quickly,
good?
these 3 hours.
Yes, Dingleberry. Okay, put on a picture. Not up, not up, not up.